Scientology has always been shrouded in mystery, but that's no longer the case due to recent ex-Scientologist Leah Remini, star of TV shows The King of Queens and The Talk. She and a growing chorus of former members reveal its disturbing practices, incorporating patterns of coercion, control, and abuse of power. Where do we begin? Scientology's reach into a family's life extends to their most special and private moments, including childbirth. Women are instructed to give birth quietly in an aptly named silent birth, so the newborn's impressionable mind isn't exposed to the negative effects of screaming. To make matters more difficult, the mothers are forbidden from using any method of pain relief, such as an epidural. Scientology also holds an interesting view on young children, whom they believe are spiritual beings. According to their beliefs, they are on a higher spiritual plane and as such are treated like adults. This means children are allocated adult responsibilities such as memorization of L. Ron Hubbard quotes, manual labor, and the signing of a billion-year contract. Asserting their influence early increases the likelihood that if family members ever want to leave, the children would stay with the church. They, after all, know nothing outside of the organization. The specific aim of the indoctrination is to brainwash members into distrusting any outside information, giving them a single-minded vision of the religion. Reading Time magazine, for example, is wrong. Members are expected to confess to reading outside materials, at which point they will be met with the punishment at their expense, including intensive interrogation and thought modification. In Clearwater, Florida is a facility called the Flag Land Base for the Sea Organization, or Sea Org for short. The Sea Org is considered the militaristic branch of the religious order. Remini and her family moved there when she was a kid, where she signed the infamous billion-year contract, wore a sailor uniform, and performed harsh manual labor. They were also forced to live under harsh conditions in dormitories infested with roaches, despite the wealth of the organization. Due to allegations in recent years, Scientology claims they no longer employ children at the Sea Org. Scientology distances members from the outside world and coerces them to sign their life away and perform hard labor. To reach the upper echelon of Scientology, it costs thousands of dollars and years of study. On a Scientologist's journey, they must go through many levels. One level is Operating Thetan Level 3, which former members call the story of Xenu. This tale features an intergalactic warlord who kidnaps millions of humans and relocates them to volcanoes where he blows them up. There, leftover souls called Thetans clamp onto human consciousness, thus providing the origin of human psychological trauma. Scientologists are told that all will be revealed when they reach the final level, called the Bridge, also known as OTP-8. However, when Remini finally reached it, she was shocked to hear that God is a lie for L. Ron Hubbard, and there are more levels ahead, which will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is simply no end. Maybe unsurprisingly now, there are more shocking aspects such as their view on sex education and the procedures surrounding sexual abuse. Scientology adheres to a strict view of sex, instructing their members to refrain from all physical contact until marriage. They also enforce a policy called the second dynamic, which contains a complicated system of numbers that quantifies sexual urges. Sexual abuse within the organization is dealt with internally and not reported to the police. Such was the case when Remini discovered that a high-ranking and influential official in his 30s was having sex with her 16-year-old friend. In fact, it is considered an enemy act to prosecute another member, which suggests that they believe their organization does not need to adhere to the rule of law. Many outsiders perceive Scientology as a celebrity religion containing highly visible members such as John Travolta, Elizabeth Moss, and of course, the most talked about member, Tom Cruise. However, Remini commented during her Ask Me Anything on Reddit that Scientology's numbers are small in comparison to the number of people involved in the entertainment industry. Remini claims Scientology has done an amazing job convincing people that there is a great number of celebrities in the church. Celebrities attract new members, so Scientologists actively try to recruit famous people. According to Remini, she was pressured into inviting her friend Jennifer Lopez to Cruise and Katie Holmes' wedding. Remini was on the outs with the organization at this point and was kept away from Lopez the entire wedding. Since the passing of Hubbard, Tom Cruise has become the face of Scientology, and his influence reportedly rivals that of the creator. As such, to criticize Cruise now is considered an attack against the aims and goals of Scientology. Her mother pulled her and her sister Nicole into the religion when Leah was 9. She had doubts from the beginning, but she was scared that if she left, she would never see her family again. By the time she reached operating Satan level 3, she questioned the sanity of Scientology, saying, "Are you nuts?" But her mom and sister weren't ready to leave, so she stayed as well. In an interview with 2020, she revealed that she was ready to part from everything she'd ever known. Her sister Nicole had already left the church, but their mom was still a believer who was willing to accept that she would have to cut ties with their daughters. In 2016, Remini teamed up with A&E to create a documentary series called Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, which gave her and other former Scientologists a place to talk about their experiences. Not only was it therapeutic for former members, it became a source of shocking revelations craved by the public. Despite Scientology's harassment and negative PR campaign against her since her departure, Leah Remini has forged a new life path and has continued her career. She's come to terms with her past and vows to keep helping other former members while shining a light on the practices of the Church of Scientology.